My dear fellow Arunachalees, my YouTube channel Hamara Arunachal heartily welcomes you. On this channel, I'll post videos on relevant issues with my critical insight. I also welcome civilized comments from my viewers. The growth of this channel depends on your support. Thank you. Chapter 1: General Views on Politics. Perhaps you remember when we were children, a couple of decades ago, we hardly closed the doors and windows of our houses, whether we were out or at home. People were honest in those days. The incidents of stealing, lying, and cheating were rare. When people did something like that, it was not taken as an offense for which a perpetrator would be hated forever. We knew that people get involved in this kind of act because of some dreadful necessity. Again, in those days, the houses in villages stood next to one another without any apparent boundary sandwiched between them. There were no walls or fences to mark the end of one's boundary. People lived like a single unit. There were no religious motivation behind this, no holy books were our guidance, and nobody had to dictate us that it was wrong to steal or wrong to kill. Somehow we just knew the right from the wrong. We had a wonderful sense of solidarity, honesty, and simplicity. Village disputes were sorted out through various democratic institutions like Keba or Kebang in Adi Belt, Buliang in Apatani Belt, and so forth. We too had a sense of justice, like rest of the world, with slight variations like making a perpetrator repent for his action, rather than screw up his entire life with severe punishment. Severe punishments were rare, as severe crimes were. Things are fuzzy now. Since the introduction of modern politics in our society, things are changing faster than we can make sense of things. Faster and faster, our world is changing than we can handle a thing at a time. The new ideas are hammered into our soul, the ideas that come out of a literate world, a reformed world, a world of many events that were out of our business in the past, and entered our simple existence uninvited, like an epidemic. Now we have become full-time political animal. Politics is unavoidable in life. It is more so in the modern arrangement of the world. It has started penetrating every human discourse. People are divided into party lines, with or without their consent. I hardly need explaining to the people of Arunachal Pradesh, whether literate or illiterate, what politics is. It has become like Tamul Pan, betel chewing, in Arunachal Pradesh. That is not my point here. My point is, what kind of politics we are involved in? Are we benefiting ourselves? Let me ask you one very simple question. What is the most essential function of a government? I honestly think it is justice. Imparting justice, giving justice to everyone, which I will discuss in some other videos. Modern politics is not about fighting long-drawn civil wars, establishing nations, founding civilizations, fighting for nations' freedom, overthrowing of empire, world conquest, colonialism, imperialism, crusades, etc. Modern politics is about business interests, lack of equal opportunities, growing competitions, expansionism, energy uses, identity issues, cultural crisis, moral crisis, social security, employment, women issues, refugee problems, and last but not the least, crisis of humanity as a whole, including climate change and extinction of animals. Most of the countries already have their freedom, their constitution, and government. But the endeavor of every generation is to adjust with the world they find and the politics of the day. Now our people are no doubt pursuing education. Still, the kind of education we receive is, in my view, outdated and lacking in many ways, which I will discuss later in some other videos. Most of us care only about our immediate surroundings and apply all the information and data that we receive from our inadequate education, to understand the things going around in our narrow circles. Danger is, many such people are running the business of politics in our part of the world. This set of people have become so powerful, rich and popular that others have little chance to thrive, unless of course ready to sell one's honesty and integrity. But that has also become an exclusive club. They do not want to leave the club no matter what. Let's call a spade a spade. Everybody wants to be politically correct, knowing perfectly well what is what. They know what is actually happening, but they want to be politically correct. Those who distance themselves from reality and pass no opinions should at least support those who give honest insight into important matters. Naturally, in today's Arunachal Pradesh, there has been an explosion of opportunists and sycophants. I repeat, opportunists and sycophants. All see short-term benefits. Anything, kind or case, doesn't matter. Now there is real danger for the person who expresses honest comments, or at least his her views in this poorly satellite part of the world. Many criminals are roaming free in front of our very eyes, and even elected by people. And you put your life in the line for using your right to freedom of expression. Things will be communalized, media houses will be threatened, voters will be bribed, police will be kept in check, and you are done. No CBI inquiry can be done in here. This is something very difficult to imagine in present-day Arunachal Pradesh. Otherwise, God knows how many unbelievable truths had been revealed. Many scams went unsolved, forgotten like nothing happened. William Shakespeare, in his Roman plays, depicted how public memory is short. Public too pretends to be ignorant. Development in our state is in miserable condition. Roughly 90% of the people have to suffer because the rest 10% is busy playing politics all season like T20 cricket, winning and losing. Winning and losing for what of real value? Their houses are like palaces. Their food is free. Their water is clean. Their journey is taken care of. Their account is surplus, and their children's future is secure. So why bother much about others? Empathy is missing in the scene. Whatever development work these politicians have done is not something extraordinary. Anybody could or would have done this much if got an opportunity to serve. But what is extra? At least ask, what about the condition of our roads? Why have we specially chosen them? They do not have to spend from their pockets. All funds come from center. Rest of us get imaginary development, imaginary hope, and imaginary sense of well-being. We do not have industries, factories, surplus agricultural products, or mining activities of any significance. Whatever we have so far is only self-sufficient. It would not have been the case if our politicians were far-sighted, honest, and educated. Why do we have faith in these politicians so much without valid reasons? Why give so much respect to them? We should rather give such respect and importance to our parents, our teachers, senior citizens, and social workers, and so on. We have not seen a single politician in Arunachal Pradesh who has resigned on moral ground. It is not that such situations did not arise, but they always had the wild card to play. People will rather believe in cartoon characters, advertisements, political speeches, rumors, and gossips than the naked truth lying before us on evidence. Public will believe in rumors like salt scarcity, possible earthquakes, monkey men, hammer men, and memes rather than testing things with logic, reason, and evidence. We just like to believe, as belief is so comfortable than thinking hard. Is it not the reason most of the students are dropouts or fail in exams or make a man different from the other in some respect? Thinking is hard and deliberately doing it harder. Believing is a passive affair. The world we are living in needs thoughtful minds, not lethargic citizens. We often hear whenever a politician is criticized, he would complain, it is politically motivated. Notice the word politically. What does he mean? Does he mean that the issue is not at all worth considering? Does he mean politics is bad apart from him? Or politics as a whole a bad thing? Or he would have been happier if non-politically criticized? Aren't they paradoxical? Then why are you in politics, sir? Or madam, why are you doing politics? You think it is not worth considering because it is politically motivated. Which issue is not politically touched today? And why not criticize you? People do not criticize you personally. For most part, they are criticizing your policies. You are holding a post which is given to you. So you are responsible and you are under observation and scrutiny. You are not there permanently sitting. People who give their honest opinions or express views not always mean they criticize you. They are simply using freedom of expression, which you also have. You also have the luxury of giving counter opinion. I do not mean all the politicians are alike, but those who take public opinions seriously will not come up in the political ladder. Now, let's talk about the voters, my favorite part. I wonder if somebody would conduct a survey of how many honest voters elect their representatives in Arunachal Pradesh. What is the percentage of honest and serious voters? What is the percentage of genuine intellectuals in Arunachal Pradesh? I suppose this is somewhere between 2 to 5%, because every literate person is not educated, neither every educated person is intellectual in the true sense of the word. Rest of the folks cast their votes on few issues which they have understood. I wonder how many of these folks remember the election manifesto of these politicians which they circulated during election. It is still more notable how many were fulfilled by them. These voting folks look for short-term issues or issues that concern their immediate locality. They do not see long-term and issues concerning Arunachal Pradesh as a whole. Even if the intellectual community casts their vote for the real good people, they cannot win, because rest of the folks will go with very short-term localized issues. These folks are easily influenced in Arunachal Pradesh. That is why the electorates do not care about the intellectuals. What can they do other than using mere words, which can be silenced by Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed? That is why we have to speed up education in our part of the world. We have to make bigger the intellectual community, and we have to make the middle class strong and well informed. I am saying middle class because the rich will hardly go against other rich people, because they are already in a comfortable position and enjoying the monopoly of being rich. Moreover, they have to maintain their position as upper class. The upper class is just behind, the upper middle class is just behind them. So why bother with the things which really are the main concern of poor and the middle class? The poor, on the other hand, cannot think in the bigger canvas. They think in terms of the house they live in. They need leaders to guide them. These potential leaders will come from the middle class. Middle class has the right condition to supply ideas, motivation, and a spark for change. If you go through the pages of history and read all the great revolutions, you will find the exact role and contribution of middle class in changing the world. Enough for today. Jago Arunachal Jago. Jai Bharat. Jai Arunachal. Namaste.